So I wanted to discuss with you guys. First, we'll recap the video from TikTok about funding your trading account, and you need to apply for that level 2 on Robinhood for your options. Once again, you want to make sure you're saying you're making a good amount of money and that you have been trading. I believe it's been like over a year or something like that, you tell them. And also, like I said, my sister-in-law was the one who had helped me set my account up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that that's what I needed to do. I believe that you probably could find a video on YouTube on how to do that. I will look for one for you guys, and I'll put it also on the playlist. And so the other thing that I wanted to talk about was funding my account. So for me, it has never been an issue for me to want to throw a lot of money at something that I believed in, right? And so when I first started learning about trading, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do this. This is my life. I can see it. Like, I love numbers. I love patterns. And I mean, I just went full throttle in on learning about trading. I asked everybody I could about it. I learned as much as I could about it. And so when it came time to like want to start taking trades or whatever, I was just ready to go for it, right? And I said, okay, I didn't know what was considered to be a good amount of money to open your account with. But in my mind, I was like, well, I can just put $10,000 in there and then I can just see where things go. And that was a number that I was comfortable with, right? Because from all the time that I had been learning about trading, I knew that there was a possibility of losing that much money, right? And I also, one of the things that I had learned early on, because I am a numbers girl, one of the things that I learned early on was that leveraging, scaling up was a thing, because I will look at these contracts and I will say, okay, because there is a way for you to calculate even on options. Guys, look, I'm not saying it's worth it for you guys to go in there and try to calculate how much money you're going to make on a contract. I'm just saying there is a way to do it. And so I would just go in there and I would do my own calculations, right? And I would say, these numbers don't add up. And then what I realized is that after watching more videos and more videos, and then you're watching like people showing their screens, they done took 20, 30, 40, 50 contracts, and for them to be able to make that $1,000, that $5,000, that $10,000, that $40,000, right? And so I said, okay, so mentally I'm like, okay, I'm new and I need to start with a lot of money. And so when I talked to a few people about that, they was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I said, well, okay, then I'm like, okay, well, I can do 5,000. No, absolutely not. They was like, you don't even know what you're doing yet. Do not put that kind of money in there, right? And so since I wasn't going to use that money, I went on ahead and put that money in my high yield savings account. What I did start with was $1,000. Now, I added more, and I'm gonna tell you why I added more. So I started with $1,000 in my account, and I didn't fully understand, and this is just like I was saying in the video, there's going to be a lot of things that YouTube University is not going to teach you about trading. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to buy an options contract. And if this contract is $130 for one contract, right? And the full of it. So your one contract, remember guys, it might be on the screen as $1.30, but remember you have 100 shares in that contract. So one contract, you got 100 shares, that's $1.30 times 100, which is $130, or what you are purchasing to get that contract, right? However, remember, you have the option of losing $1,300. Is it $1,300? I think it's $1,300 if I'm adding it right. If I'm not adding it right, then it's $1,030. Y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? So you can lose up to that amount of money, right? Okay, so what I didn't understand, guys, is that you can still like take the contract, and I didn't know that. And so in my mind I was like, oh no, these contracts are adding up to this and this and this and that, right? And so I wouldn't take a higher contract more than what I had in the account. And I want to retract. Maybe I am wrong that you cannot take more than what you have in your account. I'll check that out later. But in the beginning, I was only doing like small cap companies, and when I say small cap, these were companies that were somewhere around $15 to maybe $30 was what the stock was going for itself. And I was like, no, I want to move up to these bigger ones. Like I want to get Nvidia. I want to get, like SPY and QQQ. And I was like, I need more money. Now, this was something I would say could have been, you can call it impulsive, because I'm not an impulsive trader. Like I'll do another video sometime down the line to tell you why I'm intact when it comes to certain things like this. And it's only because of what I've already have experienced in the past. So I was like, I need more money to trade with those accounts. So I threw another $1,000 in there. I was like, why not? I can get one contract. So if the contract is $1,300, I got $1,300 in my account. And so that's what I ended up starting with this, right? Because I think I only had the $1,000 in there for like a week or so, 2 weeks. And I was winning all of my trades in the beginning. I was winning all of my trades. I wasn't scaling up. I was just taking one contract, 2 contracts at a time. Now remember, guys, these were small caps. These were, like I said, somewhere between $10 and $30 for a stock, right? And I just knew that from all the studying that if I wanted more, I was going to have to take higher contracts. I was going to have to leverage more. The one thing I did know 100% was that I was not going to do a full port, which means that whatever I had in my account, I'm going to throw all of that into a trade. That was probably the biggest thing I knew. And before even learning about trading, I knew I'm not full porting anything, guys. No, period. But so that's what I ended up doing, right? And so I was winning my trades at that time, but what I was doing was I was still vacationing a lot, even though I said, okay, I'm gonna get really serious about trading. So if you've seen my IG, if you've seen the videos on YouTube, you won't get all of them on YouTube. You will see more on Instagram. But I traveled every month. Sometimes I would take 2 trips in 1 month. And I was like, this year I'm getting serious, because I said by the time I turned 40, I was going to retire, right? And so it was like, I'm not taking vacations, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And now I'm still working the extra, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing with that money. So I have a full-time job, right? And anything that I wanted to do, like an extracurricular or something, however you say that, something extra outside of my daily life, I work a second job, which this is where I'm at. And I work it on the weekends, and I would do somewhere between 6 hours and 10 hours on the weekend. That would be enough to pay for whatever trip I was going to take in that month, right? And Um, and if I have, monies left over, then it just rolled over to the next month when I would take another trip. And so what I ended up doing is, because I was already gearing myself to retire, guys. I want to make that known right now. I was already gearing myself to retire, right? And so trading and getting some success in trading right now, I didn't have far to go as far as retiring, guys, because this is something I have been planning since I was 20 something years old. Okay. And I still plan to retire, but I needed to have a backup. And also, on top of having a backup, just being tired of being in the medical field in general, and being just burnt out in general. Like, I love my patients. I love what I do. I don't love the politics of it, right? And work is very, very, very stressful. And I just knew for me that I needed to have a change. Now I feel like I'm going all off topic. But anyways, let's go back to working the weekends. So instead of me taking trips, guys, the money that I'm making on the weekends is how I'm funding my account, right? Because, well, I haven't really been adding much. I haven't added anything since the $2,000, because I haven't needed to add anything. So I've been putting that money into my high yield savings account. However, I'm not going to stop working my weekend job, because I want the money to still be available, because that's how I will fund my account. Now, from now on, what I've decided to do is to stop putting the money in the high yield savings account and start putting it into my trading account, because I want to be able to start scaling up. And scaling up, I would not suggest you guys do that in the very beginning. I'm just now getting to a point where I'm comfortable scaling up. Baby, by all means, do whatever you want to do. I am not the police. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm telling you what worked for me. For me, like, I wanted to scale up, and I needed to take some time to understand what I was doing before I start taking 10, 20, 30, 40 contracts. The highest amount of contracts I've taken so far has been 10 at once. And so now, like I said, I'm sending all of that money now to my trading account, because I want my trading account to be at least $25,000, right? That, I feel like, will allow me my heart's desire, okay? Whatever works for you could be your heart's desire. And hold on, guys. Let me get that off of there. Somebody was trying to call and mess up my recording. And so I'm not going to give up my weekend job. I'm going to use that money, because yes, I could take money out of my high yield savings account and I could put it in there, but I'm not going to do that, because I feel like this is something to change my life, and something that I need to be serious about. I'm not going to take the easy route of just funding it. No, I need to put the hard work in and making this work. Do I want to stop working yesterday, last month, a year ago? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I know for me and my personality and who I am, I have to be serious about what it is that I'm doing, and I don't want to give myself the easy road, just taking money out and throwing it into the account and then working with that. No, I need to work for this, because in the end, I know that I've done everything I could for me to make this life happen the way I wanted it to happen. Now, I know that other people may see that differently and think that it's crazy, and they're like, nah, I'm just gonna full port it. No, do what y'all want to do, because, and the reason why I say that is because there have been people that have absolutely done that and have been rock stars, guys. So if that works for you and your personality, do that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was mindset. And the mindset of, I don't know, of course, where any of you guys are in your life and what your lifestyle is, but this applies to everybody. Like, I live an okay life, right? But this okay life is not the life that I want to live. Now, this is the thing that I have been hearing and hearing and hearing, and it's very true. And it's very true of me, okay? That you can have somebody that makes 100,000 or six figures. You have your six figure person, right? I am someone that is working as a six figure person. I am not someone living as a six figure person, right? And how I always imagined myself was to be someone that was living like one, not working as one. And for me, I see that through trading, that can be something that I can accomplish. Not only that, but it gives me my freedom back, right? And my mindset is the type of lifestyle that I want to live. Yeah, I can take vacations, I can do this, I can purchase that, I can do whatever, right? It's not fulfilling. It's only fulfilling in that moment. But to have something much bigger as your freedom, the ability to go to the store and buy when you feel like it and not have to think about what's in your account, to have that ability to help people, right? Financially, right? That's what I see in my mind, and that's what I'm striving for. But I'll tell you the thing that I had to really like hone in on. It was my mindset, because in my entire life, even as a young child, I have experienced more things than a lot of people. And I didn't realize that until I was grown, until I was like in my 30s, and I'm talking to other people, and I was just like, I'm just going to shut my mouth up, because in my idea, I assumed that we were poor. But when I heard stories of other people, I was like, well, dare I not say another word? Dare I not say another word? We took several family vacations a year. We went out the country once a year. You know, we did a lot of things, like experience that I got to have as a child. I realized that was not experiences that other people got to have as I got older. And changing my mindset for me was that I've been comfortable. I've lived a majority of my life comfortable, right? Now, I'm not going to say, guys, that there's times when I ain't been down. There's times when I've been down. There's times when I've been down bad. And money comes and money goes. It happens all the time, guys. But my mindset needed to change, because I wanted to move from having this comfortable life to having the life that I want, right? For me, I can't just throw money into my trading account because that's too comfortable, right? Now, to say that I won't go and put some more money in, I can't say that. I would do that. But for my mindset, is that I have to get out of this place of what is comfortable and stop being comfortable and making myself do something that is uncomfortable for me to achieve the goal that I want. And I'm saying that to you guys, regardless of what it is that you want to do in life. It don't even have to have anything to do with trading, guys. You have to be able to push through the point of discomfort. Stop wanting to be somewhere, and you start here, you get comfortable. And then you're like, oh, I want to keep going. You get here and it's uncomfortable, and you be like, no, I'm about to go right back to comfort, because that's where it feels good at. But then you're always bumping right here. You're always sitting here, because you want something better, but it's so uncomfortable to get there. Stop being comfortable. That's the only thing I can tell you. Is that you just have to continue on. You have to be consistent. It's it's not comfortable. I was given this analogy to one of my coworkers because um, I do help people like life coaching, and one of my coworkers just kept saying, "I don't know what to do. You know, just things just keep happening and happening, and I want this to happen, and I want to do this and that." And I said, "Okay, so you prayed about it already, right?" Yeah, I prayed about it. And then I just keep getting, like this idea that I need to do this or that. And I said, because you probably should be doing this or that. And she was like, "But it just I don't know, because if I do that, then all of this is going to change and all of that's going to change." Yeah, it is. It's supposed to. And I said, you know how you can order something, somewhere, and it gets shipped to you, right? And it probably went through a lot on that way to get to your house. And you get home, you see the box. The box is beat to death, okay, on the outside, right? Beat to death. You can tell somebody that sat on it, somebody that kicked it, it and did this and it did that. Part of the box is coming off, right? I said, yeah. And I said, but when you open it up, your product that's in there is untouched. It's perfect, right? Sometimes, guys, those blessings come in a beat up box. Sometimes that's just how it comes. It had to go through some things before it got to you. But the blessing is still inside, guys, right? That's the same way it is for you wanting to break out of whatever level you are in life. You might already be living good, but you still want to strive for something better, right? You can already be a millionaire. You want to take the next level of being a multi-millionaire. You want to be, maybe an 8-figure millionaire or a 9-figure millionaire. And it requires you to get uncomfortable, guys. Is what I'm trying to say to you as far as that goes. And so, yeah, I don't have to work a weekend job. I'm going to work it. Because for me, I'm going to allow my weekend job to fund my account. Now, it doesn't require me to have to continue working my weekend job to reach that goal of what I want for a long time. No, it doesn't. But I'm going to work it as long as I feel comfortable. I may not say, oh, I'm going to work this weekend job and pour all the money from the weekend job in an account until I hit the $25K that I want to have in there from my own funding, right? I might stop at 5. I might stop at 10. Whatever the case is, I'm going to keep working at it. I have other things that I do outside of this to try to make money to fund my account. So however it works to get to the number that I am satisfied with, I'm going to do that, right? Because maybe my other outside things doesn't require me to stay at this job and I can still fund my account. I'm still going to 25K. So I hope that made sense. I'm still going to go to 25K, right? Because that is my end goal. So whatever your end goal is, guys, basically is don't stop. Don't get comfortable. Because I could be comfortable and just put the money in there, right? I'm not going to do that. I feel like, and honestly, in my own feelings, I feel like I didn't work for that. I just put that in there. I want to work for it. And a lot of me don't even want to put the whole 25K in because I want to make sure that I'm growing my account to that. Like, I don't want to just put the money in just to say that it's there. Like, I want to work hard as hell to make sure that if I put 5,000 in there from working over 2 months or 3 months, that other 10 came because I've been working my ass off to get there, in trading, working my ass off trading to make sure the money got in there. I don't want it to be easy, So don't take the easy road, guys. I think mindset for sure is one of the biggest things that hold us back all the time. Because you can make an excuse about how the world is holding you back. You can make an excuse about, oh, I'm a black man and white America and I can't get this and I can't. No. I've been black all my life, people. There has not been one time in my life that I felt like I couldn't have something because I was black. Not one time. We are in the land of opportunity. If you guys sit here and you ride on racism or people aren't giving you chances because of this or that, you're wrong. Everybody has the same opportunity out here. Fight me. Don't fight me. I'm a lover, I ain't a fighter. Tell me where you don't have the same opportunity. I'm waiting. Because you have the same opportunity. Will that opportunity show up to you in a polished box at your door? It didn't get sat on, it didn't get kicked on the way there? Maybe not. Maybe half the box will be open when it gets to you. But what you wanted was still intact on the inside, guys. That's my little brunt for today. I'm sorry this video is long. I really don't want to do long videos like this, but I think you have to start with the foundation of your mindset, okay? If you want something, you have to go after that, guys. You can't be sitting on your couch dreaming about it and then never take a step to get there. You know, a lot of people talk about manifestation and manifesting certain things into your life, but that also requires you to do some shit. Also requires you to move your ass. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys. So till next time. Bye.